Hi, everybody. Are you confused about plugs? I get so many questions about the plug order and tray size, and can you send me a list? And did I miss this? Do you have any of this left, etc. So today's video is really going to be a little bit of the history about the plugs and the plug sale, what's come to be known as the collective plug sale. I want to thank Open Food Network Canada, who is working with me to develop the simple plug sale that we started with into a distribution system of cut flower plugs across Canada using the Open Food Network open source software. And I want to thank the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership for providing funding for me to work with Open Food Network Canada on this project. Very quickly, and I'm not going to go into the planting of plugs and some of those do I bump up, don't I bump up questions. That will come later. This is really about starting a discussion about the system itself. Plugs are very small seedlings, much smaller than what you see in a cell pack at a nursery. And every single year people come and they say, oh, they're so small. Yes, this is a wholesale system, trays of various sizes. Liners are like plugs, only they're started from cuttings. And you don't need to worry about that difference. It makes a bit of a difference when I do the ordering and so forth, but it's not something you need to concern yourself with. And bare roots are just that. They're the roots of plants, perennial plants that don't have any ground attached to them. They're bare. We're not going to talk about bare roots in this presentation. There's an open question about whether or not we can bring bare roots into this distribution system. We've had it before, but I'm stuck a little bit about how to make it work. Okay, so let's talk about the trays then. Plug trays are all in the same footprint, more or less, 10 inches by 20. Sorry. And each tray is divided into these little cells. And sorry, each cell has a plant. So this is a 144 tray, 144 plants. 162 tray, 162 plants. So a few more. And that's quite different from a strip like this, 24 plants. So obviously these are smaller numbers of plants. There'll be older plants, there'll be larger plants, and there'll be more expensive plants. The bigger the plants, the fewer in the tray, the more expensive. We sell multiple sizes of plug trays. Every grower grows for different products, different flowers, different size trays. They're mechanized for different size trays. A common tray might be this one. The 285 plugs in this tray, 289, but they're sold as 285. You always get a few free ones in the big trays because they will not all be viable. And then there's a smaller size yet that we get with snapdragons, 384. Now, like my little finger, I don't know, you probably can't see, it can't go to the bottom. I have very big hands, but my little finger does not push to the bottom of this tray. So it's very small. So this is why this is a wholesale order. The smallest number of plugs you can get, 24. That's from Jolly Farmer. If you're getting shipping direct to you, we'll talk about this, but you probably won't get that. You could get this though, 36 from Rakers Roberta. But if you want fewer than this, you've got to work with other people to split the tray because there's no shipment of things that are smaller than that. We do some perennial work and that would be a smaller number, but for most of the annual plugs, that's the smallest you're going to get. This is just a summary of some of the tray sizes, and you can see things like Lisianthus and eucalyptus, you can get them in all the sizes, right? Same as Dianthus has a variety of size. Snapdragon's a little tougher, it depends on which variety. other perennials, they come in 32s. So every single flower has a different range of plug sizes available. So when you call me and you say, well, can you get me this? I'm going to say, how many do you want? Because that's how I'm going to look for things, by the size of the tray. So it's not as simple as to say every flower comes in every possible tray. It's not like that. Trays come in cases, and I know that seems obvious, but I want to take a minute to talk about that. So this is what we call standard boxing. So the case is it's like boxes within boxes of plugs are stacked on top of each other in this one box or case, 5 or 6 trays. So you open the case, you take off the first layer, and there's a box of plugs, and you open it, and there's your first box of plugs. And then there's a box below that, and below that, and below that. The problem with these boxes is they're very thin cardboard. They don't stand wet or cold very well at all. They get plugs wet, but also this happens almost all the time. Plugs pop out. We don't make claims for this because we would be making claims for everything. It's just the nature of the shipment and how far these plugs are coming. They're mostly coming from California in those boxes. And so you just put the plugs back into the plug tray. And if you need to water them or sprinkle a little more potting mix on top, whatever, or pop them up somewhere else. But these would be considered viable plugs. They're all green and the roots are good. They just have popped out of the tray. Jolly Farmer has great cases, different cases. These are cases that are side loading. So it's like the plug trays slide in like a drawer, and there's all these drawers. And the big trays and the small trays, they can share a case. And so that's very, very good because you probably want some big trays and some small trays. There's 2 problems with the, and I should say these cases have really stiff cardboard and cardboard that is coated. It's perfect for Canadian weather. There's 2 problems with these cases. The first is they're very wide. So you need to order at least 8 large trays, more trays if you're ordering small trays. And so to get this shipped to you requires a volume of plants, or else you have to pay partial case fee. They won't ship empty space. So if you're going to pay a partial case fee, you might as well get more plugs, is the way I would see it. The second problem with this case is because it sits, as you see in the picture, it's low and wide. And for some reason, FedEx drivers do not see those black arrows, which are so obvious to me. And they flip it so that it's opening at the top. I guess they're thinking this is how a box should open at the top or something. And so they're always flipped on their sides. And I have had endless conversations with the FedEx drivers about this. The thing is, because these plugs are in there so snug, and every drawer has its own little container around it, kind of, they don't pop out, even though they're on their side. Very little damage to plugs happens here. Similar for my favorite cases, this is the Breakers Roberta cases. So these are coming from Michigan. And this gives you the most flexibility if you're ordering direct to you, and for drop spots too, because the Raker's casing, you can mix the 36 strip, that's what you're seeing on the left of the picture. You can mix those with the larger trays, either a 162 tray or a 288 tray. They have both. They can all travel together in the same box, and that is so wonderful. If you want a box of this, you want a tray, a big tray of this, of Lysianthus, but you just want a small tray of eucalyptus or whatever, they can all fit together in the same box. So it's very, very flexible. And they can send half case sizes too. So it's very unlikely you would need to pay partial case fees with this kind of boxing. And these are very durable boxes, just like the Jolly Farmer boxes. They're coated. I'm going to show you a picture of some of these in the snow in a minute. Oh, Okay, more information about boxes than you want to know, I know, but really it is the basis of our entire system to think about how the plugs are getting to you because they're coming from a long ways away. There's no way about that. If you've got someone who's growing plugs for you in your town or a farmer nearby, you have the best system. Don't do this. You have absolutely the best system now. Just get them growing different things. But if you don't have that, I don't have that. I have to order from far away. So the cases matter. So what is the collective order? Well, it's just grown. I started this with a few other farmers in 2016. I couldn't meet the minimums. I was just starting out, and I knew I needed plugs. And so I just approached other farmers who were near me and said, would you like to do this together? Do you want to go in on an order? And it just grew and grew. It's a great way to meet the other farmers in your area and network with them. You see them every year and you talk about what? About flower plugs, about plants. It's wonderful. Um, and I want to thank so sincerely to the farmers who grew this with me. I won't mention names because you all know who you are. I'm sort of talking in the past tense because we're shifting to a new system, but we know who you are. And we couldn't have gotten here without you because the beauty of the collective plug order is that everything is ordered on one account. And that means we get volume discounts. We pool all of our volume. So the price you get is going to be better than the price you would get if you just went and onto the ball system or whatever to order directly. In almost all cases, there's a few exceptions, but in almost all cases, you're going to get a better price in the collective order. Unless you're a big farmer and you're already ordering 50 cases, then you already get a volume discount. But if you're like me and you only need 10 trays of something, you're going to pay more individually than you're going to pay collectively. So people have figured that out, and that's why this system has grew. And in 2025, this collective order absolutely exploded. And in week 14, you'll get used to week numbers because everything is by week number. Week 14, first week of April, 675 cases came down my driveway. And even though I knew that many were coming, it was still a shock to see how big that is. I didn't have a very good visual of what that was going to look like. And this is only the first week of April. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about that so that you kind of understand why the plug system has to change. So our space, I don't have a big space. Our space doesn't handle this. These plugs are just in time, right? You're picking them up within 2 days of arrival. So they don't go into a greenhouse or anything like that. We started off putting them into our basement. I moved all my furniture out into a corner and we started stacking boxes in there. And then the next day that was full and other boxes came. And so we have a carport and we put up a big tent and we started packing and loading boxes that arrived into there and unloading them. And we started to pack orders and so forth. Oh, and I should show you here. My daughter and husband were very cheery, putting up more tents because we knew we were going to need more tents, and we were very cheery at this point. And then the next day came, and the snow came, and the biggest orders came, and so this is those Rakers boxes out on pallets in the snow where we had to leave them because the tents were all full. The basement was full. There's no place else short of my living room I can carry these boxes in. So we wrapped them as best we could and we left them. Now here's the interesting thing. There was frost damage to some plants and not these ones. the the plugs that were at the all as we're starting the packing, I'm thinking, oh, when I get to the bottom boxes on this pallet, they're going to be horrible, right? Because it's like a day later. They were perfect. The plugs that were damaged were the ones we had already taken out of boxes and were in tents, right? So just a learning here. Like sometimes the best thing to do is just leave those plugs right in the box. And I'm not suggesting you try this at home. I hope this never happens again. But the point is the boxes held up. If this had been the vertical stack boxes, the standard boxes, there's no way they would have held up. The biggest problem we have is with the increase in orders, the volume of boxes, of course, the suppliers send them in bigger trucks. And we cannot accommodate bigger trucks. We can take FedEx and so forth, but we can't accommodate bigger trucks here. And I suspect most of you can't either. And so when those big trucks arrived, they had to stop on the road. The road was ice. It was a snowstorm. It was so terrible. And we had to manually unload every box from the truck and carry them through the snow to wherever we were going to stack them. So this is not tenable for us, even if it's not snowing. We can't take these big trucks here anymore. I'm just so glad that like a police car didn't drive by or something, because this was quite a hazard. Clearly, we have outgrown our site, and the cracks in our system really showed themselves in 2025. Deliveries, if they're just a little bit late, they hung us up because we have farmers ready to come on Friday and they're coming from far away. And so they've scheduled a whole bunch of things. So they have to come on Friday now. But the plugs didn't get here always till Thursday. And so we had to pack at night with headlamps on. We made mistakes. Some plugs froze, ones we had already taken out of the boxes because we started to pack some orders as early as we could. And that was a mistake. We had to refund all that. I killed all the scabiosa, and honestly, I don't really even understand why, because they were in the basement and they arrived healthy, and I don't know exactly what happened to them. Underwater, overwater, something I did. Because the location was so crammed with boxes, so understand we have boxes arriving that have to be unpacked. We have boxes that are unpacked, and then we have orders that we're packing into boxes. So there's this system of getting plugs from box A to appropriate order box B. And then as the order boxes were packed, so Theresa Schumilas's box is packed, it's got to sit somewhere and wait for her to come. And because we could only put boxes in so many places, they got mixed up. And so people took the wrong boxes. And sometimes there were things missing from boxes because we didn't have time to do our detailed checking everything in every box, which we usually do. So some things got missed from orders. And because people were coming from so far away, 6 hours, 7 hours sometimes, they couldn't come back if they realized the mistake when they got home. We had to refund that item off their order. And that item was sitting here still with me. So I ended up with a few $1,000s of plants that I tried to peddle and sell, and they didn't sell. So they're currently growing in my field with really no buyers for them, because that was better than ditching them. So we can't be in that situation again, right? I can't have this extra plants kind of hanging around because people are coming from so far away. We can't have people coming from far away. So we need a system that meets 4 criteria. First of all, it has to accommodate more flower farmers because not everybody lives in southwestern Ontario. It's a big country, and lots of flower farmers want to access plugs. Second, we need farmers to access plugs closer to them without traveling a great distance. Third, any given pickup spot for plugs has to take fewer boxes and trays than what I took here because nobody wants the transport trailer coming. And absolutely and for sure, we don't want it coming to St. Agatha. So I have designed this little system. So I'm person at the computer in the upper right there, smiling because I'm so happy about a new system. And you're the farmer. And you are going to decide, first of all, you have a fundamental choice. You can either get your boxes shipped directly to you. We call this drop shipping. It goes right to you. It never comes here. I never see it. I never touch it. It goes right to you. Or you can be part of a pickup spot where the boxes get shipped directly to the pickup spot. Again, they never come to my driveway. I never see them. I'm not going to touch them and kill them. So, but you decide, is it better for me to go to a pickup spot or is it better for me to have them come to me directly? And then you place an order in a shop, appropriate shop for whatever pickup spot or shipping date you want. And then I get those orders and I consolidate all those orders and I place those orders through brokers and sometimes directly with growers. Some of the growers are Canadian, some of the growers are American, and all of their names and who they are and the sizes and all of that, it's all in all the shops. People often email me and say, can you give me a list? No, because there are thousands of products. I don't have a list. You wait for the shop, you go through the shop. That's how this works. If there's something specific you want to ask about, ask. If there's something specific you want, make a suggestion and make it now, because I can search for it. And but generally, I already know the things that people are after. Once I place the order with the growers, a whole bunch of things happen. Maybe the seed wasn't available. Maybe there was a mistake in the catalog. Maybe they have to switch varieties. Lots of changes. Just because you ordered it and got an order confirmation doesn't mean you're going to get those plugs yet, right? It's almost like your order's a wish list. And so you always want to order a little bit extra in case something's not available. And I communicate these changes. This year, I'm going to communicate these changes or next year, in this fall, I guess, I'm going to communicate these changes on a spreadsheet. And so you'll always know what the changes are, what's going on, because they happen all through the fall and winter. When your week comes, so you ordered in week 14, you ordered in week 16, when that week comes and those plants are ready to ship, because everything is ordered for a specific time, when it's ready to ship, the Canadian suppliers box it, ship it, it's on the truck. The American suppliers box it, put it on a truck, it comes through customs. I work with brokers to bring it through customs, gets onto a truck, almost always FedEx, and it gets shipped to you or to your drop spot. So this is how the system works. The payment is to me, and then I pay for the plugs to the suppliers. So you don't handle the money if you're a drop spot. Here's the big problem we have. Some things require high minimums, a number of things. Anything we order that's custom, anything like the scoop scabiosa, lots of things require minimums, more than you're going to want to have as an individual farmer. So you're not going to be able to order most of those things if you get direct shipping, because you're not going to take 400 scoop scabiosa, and that's how many you have to take. So the thing is, you work together with others to share these minimum items. So a drop spot could do that. Your drop spot could try to say, can we make enough orders for 2 trays of scoop scabiosa, etc. Or you can just do that and peddle them, sell them to others, or have a plant sale with them, or whatever. But it's a problem with this new distributed system because the plugs are not all coming here. So how do we meet these high minimums in some cases? Well, I'm suggesting we have this new specialty program. So you still order, probably in a separate store, order these items, but they come here to St. Agatha. So I know that doesn't help you if you're far afield. I don't have a solution for you, except you need a collective plug spot that is big enough to meet these minimums. Oh my gosh, I've got plug trays all around me. They're falling. So there would be a pickup in St. Agatha for these items. I'm suggesting it might be week 16, it might be week 18. I could use feedback on that. It could be that your plug, I don't know why my voice is giving out. It could be that your pickup spot sends an envoy to pick up all the specialty trays that were ordered at your pickup spot and take them back there. And then you have one pickup location that has the core program plus the specialty program. Megan did that in Ottawa last year, for example. That could work. And then the bottom line is we're only getting the specialty products here in St. Agatha. So that's not going to be big, 700 trays. It's going to be about 100 trays. And you're ordering your core program, so everything that's not specialty, either directly shipped or shipped to a drop spot. In addition to that, there's some other changes here. Um, I'm suggesting we go to a buyer registration, kind of like a membership system. I'm suggesting $10. Uh, it's a bit of an insurance pooling is what it is, because things happen where orders have to be canceled, not at someone's whim, but because life circumstance dictates that. And the $10 is like a pool to cover some of that if it has to happen, I think. And so it doesn't necessarily fall on me. I'm not taking the whole financial risk. Also, people order in the wrong shops because there's so many different pickup spots and locations. So by pre-registering, what happens is you will select first where you're going to order. You're going to get it direct shipped, or you're going to order for pickup spot in Pickering or wherever. And I will tag you to that. So you'll only see the relevant shops. You won't see all the other shops. And that will minimize incorrect ordering. It also allows me to verify addresses with anyone who is getting plants shipped with the broker and the shipper first, so that we don't have a situation where a truck is out there looking for you and it turns out the address is entered wrong and they can't find you. So we kind of can validate all that up front. It also assures you agree to a set of terms and conditions, specifically around things like cancellation. Because every year I have people who say, oh, I didn't know I couldn't cancel. Okay, so all of this will be in terms and conditions that you must accept. And so then I know everyone is okay with that. It also ensures that the emails from the Open Food Network system, that is your order confirmation, is not going to your spam. So that will minimize the messages I get saying, I never received a confirmation, or that was a few months back. I don't remember what I ordered. I see that the Gypsophilia isn't available. Does that affect me? You will have an order confirmation, and you can keep your order confirmation. You manage your order, and if you need to know whether or not you ordered something because you forget, well, you just look at the order. So having this pre-registration lets me organize a lot of that housekeeping stuff. And the other thing it will do is it will have a credit card from you on file, and that if someone goes AWOL and doesn't pay for their order, I have a credit card to hit. So you're guaranteeing your order with a credit card. And honestly, I'm not trying to be difficult, but if you don't agree with any of those things, you don't like those things, then you should go directly and set up your account with Ball Color Link and order right from them. I can tell you they're going to require all these same things, because that's the way the system works. So I'm just trying to portray here, these are the terms of a wholesale order. It's not like walking into a nursery, and it's not like seeing things and choosing over them and picking and choosing. It's not like that. It's a wholesale order, and it's just important people understand those terms going in. So what do we need right now? We need pickup spots. And I've tried to make it as easy as possible for people to be a pickup spot. I'm doing the online shops. I manage the orders. I manage the payments. You don't have to touch the money stuff or the order stuff. You don't have to do any of the tech. No tech. What you need to do is you need to decide on your pickup week 14, 16, 18, or 20. You need to decide if you're going to send an envoy to St. Agatha to get those specialty items, because if you are, we'll put those in your shop too, because then the minimum is not an issue. If you're not, then they won't be in your shop. I will set up your shop for you, and I will put you on the list of pickup spots if you want to be a public pickup spot. You don't have to be. You might already have a list of people who are in your circle who you want to order for. We would call that a private pickup spot. You just tell me who they are and I tag them. Nobody else sees your pickup spot. So you can do it either way. If you want to be a public pickup spot, I put you on the list. People see you. They say, oh, I want to order from them. So they order in your shop. That generates a customer list, and I send that to you. So you will get a list when the shop closes. You will get a list of all the customers who ordered. Now you have a communication list and you can communicate details with them. You can be in touch with them as maybe you have to change pickup times or things like that. That is your responsibility to communicate with them about the pickup, not about the order or cancellations of goods or anything like that. I do all that. The week comes and you receive the shipments, likely FedEx. Most times you will get a tracking number from me at the beginning of that week. Not always. There's some mystery that happens there. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't always get tracking numbers. It will arrive Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, most likely. It will depend on how close you are to a FedEx sorting facility. And you unpack the boxes. And now this is important. As a pickup spot host or as someone who is receiving a shipment directly to their farm, you have to report any issues that you think are claims. In other words, the plugs are dead or dying. You have to communicate those to me, and you have 24 hours from the time that shipment arrives. So you do not delay opening those boxes. You open them right away. And you communicate that to me right away. And I'm going to have a Google form to help you do this. There's a very precise way that claims have to be photographed and documented, and I'll walk you through those. And I would meet with the pickup spot hosts to show you what is a claim and what isn't a claim, because you're new to this and you won't know. Those things popped out of trays that I showed you, that is not a claim. Those are viable plugs. You just stick them back in tray. But things that are moldy and dead, I mean, this is a claim. And every year there are some, so there will be some. We make those claims. I put the claims through to the brokers, to the growers, and I adjust the customer's order and take those items off their order. So, but as a pickup spot host, you're the triage there. You're the gateway to decide this is viable, this isn't viable. When the customer comes, they don't decide that. They don't contact me days later to say, I got these plugs at so-and-so's pickup and I don't think they're good. My response is, I'm sorry. Everything cleared through a pickup spot is considered viable. There is no credit for that anymore. All the claims have to happen in that first 24-hour period. That's the only difficult spot, really, in all of this. So then, you've got everything. You organize your plugs into the orders. I will send you a packing list. I will send you all the invoices. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to take any money. You just be cheery and smile and maybe share refreshments and talk with your fellow farmers. And I need to establish this list of pickup spots by August 1st so that we can give everybody those choices. So there are some key dates then. August 1st, you're going to tell me if you're going to be a pickup spot. And honestly, the more the merrier. And if there's two of you and you're close together, talk it over and decide. Maybe you want to share the work or something and have it at one of your farms. Maybe you each want to do it. It doesn't matter to me. We just need more pickup spots. August 25th. And I should say, I think the best farm to be a pickup spot is a small starting out farm. Why? Because you're going to build your network. You're going to meet people, and that's really good. And because the larger farms do not have time to do this. And so I don't want any of the larger farms who are ordering feel pressure to add a pickup spot here, because I know they don't have time. I could start this because I'm a relatively small farm. And so I had the wherewithal. But this is a busy spring period, and running a large farm, there is no way you can just add this on. So I don't think a large farm is the best place for the pickup spot. The small farm is the best place for the pickup spot for all those reasons. August 25th, the buyer registration will open. That will be in a shop too. And you will choose, everyone will register and they will pay their $10 and they will choose where they're going to buy their plugs, where they're going to pick them up, how they're going to get them. And then September 8th, all the shops will open, everything. If you're getting something directly shipped, it will be in a shipping shop and it will open. All the pickup spots will be open and tagged. So you'll see the shops that you want to see and you'll order. And you'll take your time ordering. This is not a race. It's not like there's a fixed inventory. You're ordering and they're going to seed for you. So you don't have to hurry. Take your time, plan your order, plan what you want, do your research, place your order. Mid-October, I don't have the exact date yet. That will be the deadline. And we call that the early order deadline. At that point, things get consolidated and they go to suppliers. And that's the first set of prices, early order prices. Shops will reopen in November for late orders at a 10% premium. So you can still order, but it costs you more the later you get. So, and that's not my rule. It's because growers have early order discounts and we're trying to meet those. So in November, you'll be able to order again if you missed the first one. And that will open until January 10th. And at that point, it's the drop dead order deadline. It's gone, it's done, it's finished. There are no orders being taken after that date. And importantly, in this new system, there are no extras. It's designed so there are no extras. Before there were extras because people canceled and I absorbed them. That isn't going to happen in this new system because you're going to sign off on terms and conditions that say you're not going to cancel, and I'm going to have your credit card to hit if you do cancel. So we won't have these cancellations going on. So there won't be extras. So there's no such thing as I'll try to catch something extra. Really, it's about ordering in advance and thinking through. One thing I didn't mention is at the pickup spots, I'm suggesting that we add a $20 per order fee for the pickup spot host and her trouble in organizing the pickup spot. I don't think that's an unfair amount of money. If you think it is, you can get your product shipped directly to you. But really, I think it would be nice to compensate pickup spots for this. And I'm suggesting $20 is a fair amount, but that will be up to the pickup spots. If they want more or less, it's up to them. That would be collected and then it would be sent to the pickup spot from me as a payment once the pickup's over. So we're going to have a meeting to talk about all this, and I'm presenting my idea, but I'd love to hear why this won't work and what you would do instead. And what you would do instead is not pick up at St. Agatha, something else. And so I'm going to use our regular, we've been having, and if you didn't know, we've been having these quarterly Q&A meetings every third Wednesday at 4:00 Eastern. Adjust for your time zone on Zoom. And the link is on the Open Food Network, Open Flower Network project page. And I also always put it on the Facebook page, the Canada Flower Farmers Facebook page. And this time I'm going to also send it out in my email list if you've signed up for the plug sale email list. So you're going to get the link, you're going to get the date, you're going to get the reminder. And we're going to talk about this, about the plug sale. And if you have questions that I haven't covered, or if you are thinking about being a pickup spot host and you're not sure, you can share that. And maybe people who are near you will be on that call as well, and so forth. This call itself won't be recorded because it's probably best that people be able to speak frankly about what they're hoping for, what they're wishing for, and so forth. That's why I've done this presentation in advance. So I hope you can join us for that meeting, and we'll talk all things about the plug sale. This is the Open Flower Network page in case you haven't been there and you're new to this. Go there and you'll see all these resources that we've been doing, and always the Zoom links are there, and the meeting will be on the calendar and the Zoom link is there, etc. So if you're confused about how to find this, you just go to the Open Food Network main page, go to the About tab, look under projects, and you'll see Open Flower Network there. I hope this is helpful to get us started. I'm really excited about this idea of building a pan-Canadian plug distribution system. I think we can get a lot more complicated and a lot more sophisticated as we go through time. This is kind of our starting point. Well, I hope you'll join in the Great Plug journey. Thanks.